The mission of the NCCJ is to fight bias, bigotry, and racism, and promote respect and understanding among all cultures, religions, and peoples. And the message of Two Towns of Jasper is the essence of our work. As a community,
because of our mission on making a difference, we said this is a great opportunity to bring people together from the African American community, from the white community, with people of color, people different cultures, to see if we had some of the same issues that they had in Jasper.
It was very, very powerful having people to sit down together. And of course, watching the film really gets you into your gut. You cannot watch that film without being touched.
Usually when I hear discussions on race and race relations, and especially in Buffalo, it's symbolism. You know, let's all sing, hold hands, sing Kumbaya, you know, have a couple of little meetings and conference, and we all feel good, and it does feel good. But what Trent said, and it's what you asked us to do, was take a look at this film and see how we can change and address issues here in Buffalo.
The whole goal was to begin a very deep level of dialogue. And you know, people will say we're tired of talking. And it's true, if you just have talking and no action, people do get frustrated. So we wanted to have an action plan.
we will be looking to you for your leadership, your thoughtfulness to help us in the change. Thank you for being part of progress tonight.
I wanted audiences to recognize that just as the both of the communities, black and white, in the town of Jasper got together to deal with the issue of racism, and they were able together to overcome racism, that our town could do the same thing.
We wanted to take it to the policymakers because they are the ones who are in power, who can make the policy, who can legislate against hate crime. And this is the message of this film. You might see a Texas town, but you will recognize America in it.
Opinion makers, I think, are the important ones you want to get to, and as the Assembly Majority Leader, I have 149 other colleagues who are opinion makers across the state.
When they watch this film, it's got to bring about something in the way they function, not only as human beings, but in the way they function as men and women of power.
Marco and I now have traveled all over the country with this film and visited a lot of different communities, and I can't think of a community that we've been in that didn't have some element of Jasper in it.
If we don't find the space and the places to get to know one another, then we're going to have tragic misunderstandings. Thank you very much.
We, in the State Assembly, we have always viewed ourselves as on the cutting edge of passing hate crime legislation.
Hate crimes do exist on all different levels, and we wanted people to really talk about that.
And I'm thinking about all of those who were killed, not because of any offense that they did, but simply because of the color of their skin.
Unfortunately, it takes a tragedy often to mobilize the communities to come together and acknowledge this disconnect.
And I guess we need to kind of realize that what we can do in terms of laws to make that, punish that situation.
I do think that New York State is a prototype for hate crimes legislation, and I'd like to believe that this had a part in it.
For the 6th year in a row, lawmakers will once again hear a push for hate crimes legislation. Lawmakers sat and listened to a first-hand account of the murder of James Byrd, a Texas man who was dragged behind a pickup truck for 3 miles to his death.
What this film shows is the impact that a hate crime has on the community.
For the filmmakers, it's a dream to be featured in Sundance. To be seen by lawmakers is seeing their film put to work.
Just to be a participant in the thinking process was really great.
If we don't, as a community, know this is happening, if we're not prepared for when this is happening, then how do we deal for what it is? And that hatred behind it, because we're never going to address the problem if we can't name the problem. So hate violence and hate crimes needs to be named.
I grew up in a small Midwest town, and the Ku Klux Klan was always a fight we had to deal with. And racism's a terrible thing, and we haven't gotten over it yet, as a country and as a state.
If more films were made as Two Towns of Jasper, I think they can have a tremendous effect on society today.
A film like The Two Towns of Jasper can come along, and instead of changing people one person at a time, that you can sit a group down and all of a sudden recognize that we can change a group. We can change a culture.